I got a red light. Good evening, everybody. This is the January 8th, 2018 meeting of the Nottingham Conservation Commission. My name is Sam Tamarit. I chair the commission. To my right is Deb Kimball, the vice chair. To my left is Susan Mooney, the secretary. To her left is Raylene Shippey Rice, who's a regular member. To my way over there is Dr. Cheryl Smith, who's a regular member of the commission, and then next to her is Kristen Lamb, who's a regular member, and next to her is Liz Kotowski, who is an alternate member, who will be sitting in for Paul for as long as she's able to be with us. We just came from the public hearing for the Chenenko and Chippy Rice easements, which the Board of Selectmen agreed to release the funds to pay for our portions of the easements. I didn't put an announcement. One announcement I've got coming up is the Saturday, January 27th, is the Bear Paw Regional Greenways annual meeting at the Hooksett Library, Public Library in Hooksett at 31 Mount St. Mary's Way, which is just off Route 3. Registration begins at 8:30. The meeting and the talk begin run from 9 to 12. Lunch will be provided, a potluck lunch provided by the directors of Bear Paw Regional Greenways and some guests. That'll go from 12 to 1, and then there'll be a guided walk from 1:30 to 3:30 on the Great Marsh Preserve in Hooksett. It may be a strenuous walk or snowshoe, depending on what the conditions are. The cost is $10 for members of Bear Paw and $15 for non-members. So we encourage you to, if you want to come, pay your membership and you can get the meal for $10.
Do you want to mention who the speaker's going to be?
Oh, the speaker is going to be Mike Marchand, who was just transferred into the. He's now the chief of the non-game and endangered wildlife program. I guess it's called supervisor. And he will talk about rare and endangered wildlife species found in the Bear Paw region.
Will that include beavers?
I don't know if they're rare and endangered. I don't think they're so rare and they're not really endangered anymore. But he will probably be able to answer some questions about them. Okay. With us today also is Dan Kern, who is the Executive Director of Bear Paw Regional Greenways. Welcome, Dan. He joined us at the public hearings for the other easements. And I don't know if we want to talk about the proposed Kennard easement that we've got lined up here.
Well, I did have, I think I emailed these to you, but these are the two additional survey invoices that would need to get paid over and above our invoice.
Okay.
So that would be the total that they would want for their public hearing that they were just discussing.
Okay.
And that way they can get paid. Those have not been paid. All the other invoices to the survey have been paid.
Oh, okay.
So, Dan, those are surveys for Kennard?
Yeah, so part of when we thought we were gonna move ahead with the entire project, it's the survey that we had prepared, and I don't know where it is, but Sam has the paper copies and the Mylar, and I would recommend having them.
I think I turned those over to the Board of Selectmen to get those registered, recorded, yeah.
Yeah, I would do that because it's.
Whether they have done that or not, I'm not sure.
They're only good if they're, on record, and, you can always have those surveys and use them regardless of whether the conservation.
Okay,
So Dan, a question that I had was,
Yeah,
so we've got an invoice for the Kennard property dated October 6th. We have another invoice that was for the Kennard property dated April 30th.
there shouldn't be one, I don't know where April 30th would come from.
There was one that you handed out to us here
An
at a
invoice?
meeting. It was a
Yeah, no, that's just the project budget.
okay, so the 12.5 on the project budget, so that still stands to some extent. The survey to be determined was $4,000, so this is actually gonna come up to more than the original 12.5.
Yeah, we had that conversation, somewhere along the line before we,
Right,
This is a
Right.
placeholder.
yeah.
Right.
It was,
An estimated budget.
the season has not been good for surveys in the last
Right.
couple of years.
but the question I have for you is on the October 6th conservation project invoice, there is no stewardship fee, whereas in the original budget, there was a stewardship fee.
Yeah, so you can consider the invoice that we sent on, and the only invoice that we sent
Right,
was October 6th.
right,
And so all we did was we charged about half of the easement drafting fee, because we drafted most of the easement, and we charged half of the kind of project fees because of the time we spent working on the survey and stuff. And so those are the only expenses in addition to the title work and the
Mhm.
survey that we billed to you.
right,
So then-
so then is the total project less than the 12.5 that was originally estimated?
No, but this invoice is just for the project to date.
Okay,
So if we can.
so I guess we need to know exactly how much for this public hearing needs to be expended. So if this is the 12,500?
No, so the only thing we're asking that you pay now, and the only thing that you would make sense for you to pay is the amount we billed on October 6th, which was
Okay,
$79.51.50. And that's not to do the project, but that's to get the work that's been done already.
So was there more funds to be expended at a later date?
Yeah, if you want me to prepare
Is
like
that what you're asking for?
yeah, I guess that's what I'm asking, because instead of having to go back and have a public hearing and back and have a public hearing, it makes sense that so if there is going to, and I'm assuming there's gonna be a stewardship fee charge for this property,
Yeah.
et cetera, so if this is the cost to do all of the, the background work and the legwork that we need to have this easement be in its final form, then it makes sense to me to have all the other costs that are gonna be associated with putting this easement in place to be at next public hearing that we
Final
have,
cost.
so we know what the final costs are gonna be, so we can get that amount approved, and then it looks like we're gonna be going to town meeting with a warrant article in this, and so we'd like to have this approved in a public hearing before we go to town meeting with a warrant article, rather than, because if we don't get all this up front, and then we get another bill from you, then we have to have another public hearing, and then it's not settled before we go to town meeting, so.
Well, so the way we typically would bill something like this would be actual expenses at the end of the project. I can give you an updated budget of what we think it's gonna be, and you could use that for the public hearing, but the invoice is what we wanna get paid through the public hearing that they're gonna
Correct.
have.
But the total expenses can be, the other
I just thought that would
expenses
confuse
continue.
people, cause you're gonna have a budgeted amount
Nope.
and an
No, no.
invoiced amount.
We could say up to a certain amount,
Yeah,
but contingent on the vote at public town meeting.
Correct.
Thank you.
but the amount on the invoice isn't contingent upon that.
We know that,
Yeah.
so,
And that's-
so,
Yeah,
so
right,
this is a
I
set
just wanna make
fee.
sure that it's very clear at the meeting that
There's a
they're
set
gonna
fee
authorize
for
the payment of the
expenses.
invoice.
And they said that this was a
Yeah.
bill to be paid,
Right,
So
so,
the additional amount would be contingent upon.
correct?
Yeah.
right,
These monies would be paid out now, and the rest would be paid out as the result of what the vote is at town
Yeah.
meeting.
Right.
So I can update the budget, and I won't give you another invoice, but I'll give you a new budget based on.
okay.
right, because
Invoice
then
plus
Expenses.
estimated
invoice
costs.
of current,
I mean,
ex-
95% of it's done now, so
Right.
it'll be,
so current expenses to
Exactly,
date
yes.
plus whatever else is there, including the stewardship fees, so that we have a final total
yeah.
And if you need to put a little buffer in there for, additional fees, yada, 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 based on need, then that can be voted on, the Board of Selectmen can approve up to that amount.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario.
Right.
Okay,
Right, because otherwise, we're gonna have to go back again to them.
yeah, okay,
And,
Yeah, avoid that.
sounds like a plan.
Okay. Let's see.
Any other pending?
There's, a couple of people have expressed an interest in some easements. I don't know how much money we've got, left in the
About
budget.
200.
approximately 200 after these.
After these?
After
there's-
these,
there's
all
200
three.
After 200,000?
Right, and it'll be a little more than the 12.5 for the Kennard, so, and right now, it looks like it's around 211, so we figured just say 200.
Okay. Because Deb Stevens' son is thinking of someone,
Right.
one of his properties, and somebody had expressed an interest to me in another property on Route 4. I don't know where that stands because I haven't talked to him, so I didn't know how much money we had in the.
What are the qualities of the properties, like size or?
Well, the
Road
one on,
frontage.
the one that Deb Fernald Stevens' son has is borders Quincy Pond,
Where's that?
Stevens?
on Stevens Hill
Stevens
Road.
Hill. Oh, that's Stevens.
That's what?
On Stevens Hill Road.
Oh, beautiful farm.
That's
How
awesome.
much?
Hmm?
Did you ask how large the property?
I was, yeah, I did.
We looked it up and it's substantial, but I don't remember
Yeah.
exactly.
I remember the discussion at the
Yeah.
meeting.
This is one we already,
100 acres or something like that?
wow, talk about
was-
rare and endangered.
But we didn't know yet
species.
how much he was looking to put in or keep out, or,
No, we haven't had
Just-
that
Right,
discussion.
it was just out there, yeah.
right.
Oh, okay.
Wanna
So that's the
invite
total
him?
property, but not how much might be in these.
Correct.
Should we invite him to a meeting?
Is there a house on that property or is it all?
Yes,
undeveloped?
Yeah,
Alright.
there's a house.
Okay, so that's probably in map 47,
It's really exciting.
figure out which. I think that was this one, wasn't
It's coming back to
Yeah,
me
I
now.
think so.
I said it's coming back to me now.
This is, no, it doesn't say any. Why does it say that? Oh, because is this all connected?
No, this is
No,
across the.
That's across.
I
Okay.
think, this is,
Mhm.
oh, there's not even a lot number on that.
No.
No, that's what I'm saying, there's no lot number.
Does it continue?
Oh, unless that's that, unless maybe his is this one. I
I
mean,
think that he has this,
has that.
has the
Okay.
drainage to or from Quincy
Oh,
Pond.
Oh,
okay,
okay.
okay.
So that would be map 46.
Yeah, that's ringing a bell, so.
Mm-hmm,
Did we discuss this once before?
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, a while ago.
Okay, that's, this one, I guess, lot 6, 46-6. Oh, that probably says on there what the, no, it doesn't.
No, it continues to another map.
Let me see, we on here, right? 46.
Was she inquiring on his behalf because, they would like to know how to navigate the process, or they wanted us to help them along?
No,
or-
somebody, not sure what it was. I don't know,
I think
there's,
she just mentioned that he was thinking about it and considering it. I mean, Sue, Deb was on the, ConComm for a while, so
I
she
remember.
knows the,
It was,
sort of the procedures.
Yeah, and she put her own property into conservation easement to sell.
Right.
103 acres.
103, okay. So about, that's the total amount.
That's total amount, so he probably put, you know, maybe 100 acres. or something.
80 or 90.
Mhm.
It's probably, probably anything back, you know, from the drainage back. I mean, it's probably a couple, 2 or 3 acres up here that.
How large is the property along Route 4? Did you get any feeling for that?
I can, see if I can figure out which one it is. That's the one that goes between Mendham's East and Mendham's West.
Oh, really?
The Mendhams and what?
Between Mendham's and
Between Mendham's East and Mendham's
That's
West.
about 30-something acres.
That would be- And the parcel with the pond on it?
Yeah, I probably would include that. I can figure out what I'm doing here.
Well, there's a little pond to the east of Mendham's East.
But Mendham's West.
No, I'm thinking of
I don't
between
remember.
east and west.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
remember.
there's a beaver dam
Oh,
right along the, I think you must have walked that at one point.
oh, I could have.
Yeah.
Remember when we stood at the rock, Sue, when we did that?
The boundary rock?
The boundary
I remember
rock,
that.
and we looked down and there was a pond there. Okay, well, it's in that area.
I know that I was enamored with the rock.
So I don't know. The rock was pretty
The rock was
good.
like, oh my.
I
So I don't
remember
know
that
if any
from
of that
like 3
parcel
years ago.
is
I remember the rock.
in
The rock.
Barrington, or whether it's all, I don't know.
1,500 acres.
Where is it? You know, somebody mentioned to me that he might be interested in doing that. It's a total of, total property is roughly 39 and a half acres.
For a house on it?
Yeah, house and a garage, and he has a business there.
Is it right on, so it's right on Route 4 then?
Yeah, but it goes back to the Barrington Town line.
Yeah.
This has already been logged pretty significantly, correct?
Yeah,
That's-
about
okay.
2 or 3 years ago, probably.
Yeah, okay.
So many like ephemeral streams around there, you know?
Yeah, there's the one that
Yeah,
comes
you're right.
down from Mendham's, well, there's a swamp where the corner of Mendham's West is. And then I think there's some sort of a little stream that comes down through there, and there's the beaver pond, a beaver dam, and I don't know, they tried to dam up, but I don't think they did very much there, and then it flowed into the beaver pond. And I don't know what's on the,
But the owner has not yet really approached you.
no, he hasn't approached me.
Okay.
He's approached somebody else, though?
Somebody mentioned to me that they thought he might be interested in putting an
Okay.
easement on it.
Okay, all right.
Well, the more frontage he provides to the easement, the more value it will
Yeah,
have,
yeah.
if he's looking for monetary.
I don't know what he's looking for at this point.
The easements, didn't you have a easement that you were interested in pursuing? And
Right,
did
I
anything
think-
happen to that?
Person had indicated to someone on the historical society that he wanted to put in
At one time they did.
under an easement, and then when I tried to call and contact, I couldn't reach him. I could only reach another family member who really said no. So, it's something possibly in warmer weather to try again, especially with this person from the historical society. Maybe we could go together and really try to assess any interest. Because that one, has access to Mulligan's from the other side.
It
Nice.
From the
provides
152
river
side.
protection too.
And it's right along the river.
Well, yeah, you'd mentioned the one on 152, State
152, yeah.
Road, that he approached
I
us.
think it's-
And they've
Oh,
come,
right, they
come here
did come once.
several years ago. and-
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, but apparently there's a woman that now is interested in buying the property, and she's wondering, what the interest would be on putting an easement on it.
I think that should be,
The only thing is the frontage on the North River, because I think Bear Paw looked at the soils on that property, and it wasn't, according to Phil Ozier, there weren't real good farmland soils there.
Yeah, those fields, when you look at those fields, they just don't grow lush grasses or anything.
What property?
The Bateman property?
It doesn't have farm soils.
It's across from, the Guile Road, is it?
Yeah, just across from
Big
You know where
old
Renaissance Springs is?
farmhouse.
Across from there,
They,
that big
they put a
farm, there's a hill. has a
livestock
road,
pond in
Yeah.
and,
And it
Yeah,
goes
it's-
down to the river, and
It's a
then
neat
there's a
property,
bridge to
but-
Mulligan.
Yeah, it's all sand.
And the water table is not down very far. Because I think the fire department was looking at buying a piece of that at one point before they bought where they put the new
right,
fire
it's too
station.
wet.
Seems
It was
good
too
for
wet.
cows.
Interesting.
Yeah, the cows do fine.
Sand or
Cows
wet.
for pasture, it's okay, but
Yeah.
it's not really.
But it is open, I mean, one of the things is we don't
Yeah,
have as many farms or open land like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think he stopped grazing.
but I did talk to her, and the one who was interested in buying it, and gave her some information, and she's,
Oh, so you've got her contact info?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Sam's on it.
Excellent.
I d-
Should
I
we
didn't- I-
invite-
I didn't know whether she might be related to my cousin's ex-husband or not.
Well, that could be a good thing or not.
Family.
Well, she's originally from, I think, New York State, somewhere like that.
This is the person who's gonna buy it, or thinking
We're
of
thinking
buying
about buying it and wanted to,
Okay,
you know,
okay.
see what we'd do for it.
Alright.
I know that
Different
when we talked,
situation
when we
now.
talked with Bateman, he was looking to get enough money so that he could
Pay
pay
taxes
the
and
taxes on it for as long as he lived on
Mm-hmm.
the property.
Yeah,
And I thought it was, we didn't have that kind of money.
yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So now they're just
We
gonna
still
outright
probably don't
sell
have
it.
that kind of money.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what about contacting Deb Stevens' son? Should we?
Maybe I'll try to talk to Deb and see what his
Time
plan-
frame is.
Yeah, what he's looking for.
And you should still have her email.
Yeah, probably.
Just helpful to know like what kind of time frame.
Or if he's really interested in doing it.
Right.
Right, and if he's really interested, I mean, because, when we have funds in the fund, but that could
It's always
change, and then if he
finite.
makes a decision to do something,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
those
Right.
might already be committed to something else.
Mhm.
Dan,
Was there-
are you aware of anything in Nottingham? Has anyone contacted you about possible interest in?
Yeah, I mean,
Certainly.
the only one that comes to mind is if we could be semi, I don't know,
we're
I don't
on,
wanna say the name.
No, don't.
No, don't say the name, just,
But,
and you don't
yeah,
even have to
there-
give the location exactly.
There's one, that we've talked to quite a bit, and, it doesn't really have a lot of funding options, and so municipal funding would be very helpful. I just don't know what, your level of interest.
is that the one on, is that the other one on Kennard Road, or?
No, it's on, Deerfield Road.
Oh, Deerfield
Does it
Road.
have good conservation values?
Yeah, I mean, it abuts, Pawtuckaway.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
dry property though, so it makes it harder to fund,
Okay.
can't use
Uplands
our
are good, though.
funding, Can't use, certain types of funding, we could probably do L-chip and things like that,
Mm-hmm.
How large a parcel is
a
that?
couple hundred acres.
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
That's
Yeah.
significant.
Yeah,
Hmm.
and they are trying to figure out what to do with the property, so, but we could talk
Is
sometime.
it like open or mixed forest?
Forest, almost all forest, it abuts the park.
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
Mm. Is that one of those properties that you have a number of, the owners have a number of, or the family has a number of properties that you're looking at?
They own a couple parcels, but they're
Okay.
abutting and
Okay, it's not the,
one unit.
it's not the one that
No.
has the ones scattered all over the place?
No, that's another one, but it's further down the line.
Yeah. Okay. Did they have any property, in that one have any property in Nottingham? Or do you remember? I don't-
Yeah, there's one big parcel, but it's probably a good WRE project,
Okay,
so it probably doesn't make sense for the town to
Mhm.
spend money
Yeah.
on it.
okay.
And that would be something I would encourage you, anytime you're looking at a property, and if it's, 40 or 50% wet, the WRE program still is the best bet in
Yep.
terms of saving money and getting projects done. As long as the landowners can endure the process that the NRCS makes them go through.
Couple years usually, right?
They're really difficult.
So it's the one up on Route 4 that has a pond with that, you think that wouldn't?
Yeah, I mean, if it's mostly wet,
I don't know.
That's kinda
It's back,
probably-
it's in that back corner, I think, is where
it's
the,
probably well suited to the program if it's got, needs the 50% wet, at least some portion of it that could be included in the program. And the thing about Route 4 would be that it would get appraised because it's commercial,
yeah.
and so they could potentially get paid what the appraisal states.
Is it the
Okay.
first,
Assuming-
first 1,000 feet from the highway is commercial?
Yeah, so,
What's the status of the program, though, WRA? Because
That's what I was just going to
I
ask.
mean, as
given
far
our
as I know,
current
it's chugging
funding
along. I
issues.
mean, it's a 5-year program. As far as I know, they'll get funding. I mean, my thought has been that because of the current administration's support
Yeah.
in farm territory, that particular program will probably be okay,
Hmm.
because they wouldn't wanna cut that back,
Mhm.
but that's just my guess. 'Cause, you know, it doesn't really, it's not, you know, it's designed for the Midwest and, you know, agricultural areas like that, but we
But it-
benefit
it-
from it.
Would be wise for anyone who's interested or thinking about it to move now on
Yeah, I mean,
making some kind of,
for that particular program and any kind of federal program where there's, you know, any kind of uncertainty, I always try to urge people to get in their applications as soon as possible. It's easy, it's free, you don't have to make a decision until they make an offer. So it's a great program for that, and you know, we work with landowners who do that, and then we also work with them trying to come up with other ways to fund projects. But, it can be pretty valuable, and there are folks in Nottingham that have done really well with the
Yeah.
program, at least at the initial, when it first started. But it's still pretty generous.
I mean,
And
I
some
mean,
of that depends upon, you know, how much, like Susan mentioned, how much frontage they have and they're willing, you know.
Well,
or-
even without frontage though, it can be, especially, you know, when you get to 100 acres, you know, Nottingham, it's in Rockingham County, so in Rockingham County is one of the most valuable that they have, valued, and it's, I don't know how familiar you are with the program, but they make their payments based on a schedule of amounts, and they multiply the amount times the number of acres, and that's what they offer you.
Right.
know? And so it can treat people very well, and it all depends on kind of the situation of the property and things like that, but it is a great alternative, especially when there isn't maybe town funding or other options available. And, you know, oftentimes the properties wouldn't appraise very well anyways because they're wet.
The wet,
so.
yes.
Maybe that other one as well, the 100 acre one. also.
yeah, there's one, it's got the drainage either from or into Quincy Pond, I don't know.
Yeah, if it's near a Quincy Pond, there's a good chance. That's a
Yeah.
pretty kind of bowl area, so it may extend out into that property quite a ways.
Yeah, this, let's see, where, is that the one?
Was that
This
46?
Yeah, that's one,
46, isn't it?
yeah.
And there are ways to get exceptions for the 50% rule and things like that, if it's in, you know, certain types of habitat areas.
I don't know what the back acreage looks like there. I mean, he's got that swampy area, it looks like, where that drainage comes out through, or into Quincy Pond. I'm not sure which way the land slopes at that point. It's up probably, let's see, I'm guessing that it's up close to, but not guess. Let me take a look, see whether it's across from whether it butts Mulligan Forest or not. Okay. I'm not sure the problem is.
Pretty close, though.
Yeah,
to
it's,
Mulligan, yeah.
oh, okay, it's over. Okay, Okay, the Mulligan Forest is over here. 'Cause that's where the power lines are. So it's on the east side of Quincy Pond.
I have one last question before I take off, is, were there any comments from the Board of Selectmen or the town attorney for review?
No,
of
they-
these?
No,
Okay, so we'll finish up, I'll have hopefully the final draft for you at the next meeting,
okay,
the property descriptions and everything.
okay.
And I think the Board of Selectmen probably gonna meet on the 5th, because that's in 4 weeks. Because they meet every other Monday.
Yeah.
So
okay.
that might be prior to, our Conservation Commission will be meeting the following week.
Where are we, February?
Today's 8th, and then a meet again on the 22nd, skip a week.
Yeah,
And the Select Board will be meeting on the 5th of February.
okay.
Did you have any questions or anything?
When would we need an amount for Chris to
Um,
post it?
Prior to that,
Probably need it by the,
You need it,
But-
they have to
but-
post it 10 days prior, is what he said.
oh, I thought they were gonna go ahead and do that.
Oh, the meeting and the, but I don't think
public
need to have
hearing.
an amount, or do they not need that to announce the public hearing?
I don't think they need the amount.
But I can work on it
Okay,
Okay.
tomorrow or the next day and send it over.
that'll
Alright.
be
Okay.
great.
Thanks,
Okay.
Dan.
Thank you,
All
Dan.
right.
Thank you very
Thanks,
much.
Thank you for tonight
Dan.
coming.
Thanks,
Yep,
Dan.
bye. Don't shut it tight. I think that maybe the, are the
use
ki-
the rock.
Gone, so it's not
are the kids gone from across the street, now across the hallway?
quiet now.
Okay, so you can, don't worry about it.
Keep it warm in here.
Yeah.
Can I make a request?
Sure.
I have to leave at 8 o'clock. And I had asked that the strategic plan be put on the agenda.
Put it on mine.
Can I move that up before the trail committee report, or do we want to keep it where we
Yeah,
are?
there's not much on they never met, so there's not much on the trail.
Right, I mean, I can just talk about the agenda and a couple other things quickly on that. But, I was thinking that we should probably schedule a workshop
That's what I was
to,
wondering.
to do that separately.
That's
and
pretty
just devote
intense,
it to
yeah.
Yeah.
Right, that's what I was thinking.
I
That's
think we
what
had
did in
done
the
that
past, and
when
so
we
that was
worked
what I
on it
was
last, we
suggesting.
had a workshop,
Yeah.
Or a couple, actually, I think.
yeah. And I was looking at when I was looking for documents.
What's good for you, Kristen, because that's kind of your arena.
I think it would be reviewing, and we could probably just add on
Mm-hmm.
another year just by pulling out what we haven't gotten to and what we think is important,
Mm-hmm.
if everyone's agreeable to that kind of process. Maybe Monday, the 22nd.
Mm-hmm. Can you do that, Sam?
I don't know at this point. Typically, I have a meeting on the fourth Monday of the month, but the annual meeting for that organization will be on Sunday, the 28th. So I
Monday,
don't,
the 29th.
I'll be gone then.
Should we just tentatively schedule and then,
yeah,
It doesn't have to be a Monday either. We've done
No.
workshops on other days.
yeah.
But is that the best day for you, Kristen?
Yeah, 'cause they have
Trying to work
standing
around her
meetings
schedule.
on Tuesdays and
okay,
Thursdays.
well, yeah, I can put, we can put it down there for the 22nd. I'll see what,
22nd of,
January.
January.
And being a
Strategic-
workshop,
Is
if
that a
we're
Monday?
not
Yeah.
all there, but
work for
most
you?
no.
of the key
we're-
players
oh,
are,
We're
then-
just coming back from New York that night,
Okay.
so that might not be good for you either?
right.
Okay.
You guys
You wanna move
say
it
the-
into February?
What's your next good date?
I was gonna say the 29th. or
Okay.
25th.
29th would,
I can't do that one, but we're probably not gonna get everybody.
well, yeah, but the more we can get, the better.
29th will work for me,
Yeah,
because I'm off.
that's a fifth Monday, so I don't usually have anything on fifth
And I
Mondays.
don't go anywhere.
Oh,
I don't go to these exotic places.
Other than, no, I don't even have that on the fifth.
Could we
I
have a
have
backup
I
date
have
of
it last
February 5th?
Wednesday, but I don't.
Well, that would be the public hearing, the Kennard. But we could
we could do it after that.
We could do that as a backup date.
We could meet earlier. I don't know if we could meet earlier and then break for the public hearing and then come back and finish up.
Yeah, so meet at 6 instead.
Okay, what day was this? What day, oh, the,
Maybe
fifth?
the 5th?
On the 5th?
But are you, did you say, originally say the 29th? Is that what you said, with the backup date of the 5th? Is that?
But Liz can't be there on the
Or
20th.
can more people make the 5th and then,
I won't be able to make the
oh,
5th.
you can't make.
But it's not that critical.
So what are we
Well, I
doing?
can't make the
Review,
22nd, but
doing
if
the
everybody else can
strategic
make
plan
the
for the last
22nd.
few years.
and-
Right.
Should be
Or
there.
the 22nd.
More important than, you know.
Just pick
Okay.
one.
I have a meeting at 4:30 on the 5th, but it usually
That
gets
one's
out
not gonna work for Cheryl, though.
at least
Right.
by quarter of.
Yeah,
If I'm the only one who can't make
I've
the
made a
22nd,
commitment to be a
that was the original date,
29th, no,
How about 29th,
You're the one who
though?
wanted to
for
call
Lynn?
it, though.
29th, okay.
Let's do the 29th.
29th is good, but not good for Liz.
Yeah, but
Oh,
that's, it's, we're gonna, somebody's gonna not be able to
Okay.
go. I think it's more important that those of you who put,
I think the 29th is good and gives us a chance to put our ducks in a row.
yeah.
Or
Yeah, if you can
Kennard
all
on the
meet, then I'll
5th.
just hear about it
Yeah.
later. Or if there's anything you want me to do in
Okay.
advance. In terms
We
of
can just
providing.
look it over.
Yeah, I
Put the
can
document
resend
over.
it. Mm-hmm.
We would
Yeah,
just
I mean,
resend
I
that.
made a commitment to, I'm kinda occupied the 4th through the 6th, out of town, so.
Yeah, okay, well,
So the
So
29th at
29th.
what time? 6 o'clock?
6 Sam?
Well, I can do 6.
6 p.m.
strategic plan workshop.
And I can go, but I may not make it at that time. I may be a little
Yeah, I'll
late.
be, my
like
daughter's
6:30.
coming.
ASAP.
Nice.
So that's 29 workshop.
She's
So
got
you
to,
up in the
she's
Whites?
got to feed her sheep.
Fine,
Yeah.
I-
She got-
Yes.
I'm gonna be on the phone weekend, so.
They're not gonna be happy if not.
That's right. Well, if I get home at 4:30 and then I gotta do
volunteer
my
to-
chores and eat.
Well, do you wanna wait until 7 or is there
No, 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 no. People can meet what's,
Or
no.
6:30?
6:30 better?
Yeah, but if, I mean, the folks that wanted
Probably
6.
6:30 is better for everybody, actually.
Okay.
Work schedules.
I think we're doing 6:30.
6:30?
All right, plan a couple
Good.
hours, 8:30,
Yeah.
Glad you brought that up.
that's good, or
Right.
later.
Time, overtime.
If we have to go an extra half hour, then we can probably do that. But fine. Okay.
All right, got it.
And Sam, do you have to schedule the room for that?
Yeah.
Yeah, and post a meeting. Do you want
Yeah.
to discuss this before Raylene leaves or before Liz leaves? It has to do with the Kennard.
Oh, okay.
Project?
Yeah, let's do that, the warrant article.
Okay. We were offline until this morning. Comcast pulled the plug on us out of the blue a couple days ago. But I sent out a bunch of stuff, including, the first thing was a draft warrant article for the Kennard piece. Did you folks have a chance to look at your email? Probably not.
I had a chance to look at the email, but.
Do you want me to just read it out
yeah, go-
loud?
Yeah, go ahead.
And this was based on a model that Dan had sent along to us that really had nothing to do with what we were gonna do, but I used that kind of structure to put it together. Quote, "To see if the town shall vote to place a conservation easement on the town-owned 34.20 area parcel,"
Acre parcel,
what'd I say?
area.
Oh, acre parcel, identified as tax map 11, lot 6, located on Kennard Road, and to convey such conservation easement deed to a qualified land trust organization. A conservation easement will permanently protect this parcel by restricting its use for open space purposes only, including natural resource protection, wildlife habitat conservation, forestry, and passive recreation.
Is there any water quality benefits?
I don't think so.
I'm not sure.
Sounds
whether-
awesome.
There was a little tiny rivulet that went right by the road.
It's probably, right along the road, you mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was about it.
I was gonna say, I think that's a little stream coming down from the, eventually from, apparently from the Vernal property and, probably from, whichever pond is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kinda remember.
Cyrus and,
Way-
Cyrus and Langley.
And Langley
I don't
Ponds is part
remember
of that big block
I remember a cool stream, actually.
that was right in the front.
Yeah, yeah.
So this parcel has trails on it or a trail?
Well, there is a.
There's a woods road.
There is Woods Road there, and there's, apparently, it looks like it branches off.
Yeah.
So we could put a loop, across the
As a
back of the
branch and
property.
bring it back around?
Bring it back around.
Yeah, now could that be used by a mountain bike when you talk about passive
Depend-
recreation? Are you thinking non-motorized recreation?
Passive is non-motorized,
Right.
but it could be bicycle.
Okay.
On motorized bike,
Yes.
right, someone on a
Some
bike.
people think of passive as kind of just foot travel.
Yeah.
I just wanted to clarify that.
But then, all that
Lends
can be,
itself as a woods
But-
road.
We can make
that
a
can be,
flyer,
that
right?
can be tightened up with the
The
easement
easement.
itself.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But this is just to have the
Yeah.
town vote
No details on this.
Yeah.
to allow a conservation easement to
okay,
be
just
put on the
the
property.
bare minimum here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
can
Sounds good.
I ask, do we have a letter of support? Do we have something that's from Mr. Kennard?
We do,
Okay,
but
so,
it's been so long that
Right.
town
Can we get it
council.
updated, you mean?
but I mean, is there a possibility of getting another updated letter from him that his intent was to not have this developed? But if we have that original letter, it should be
Yeah.
copied and read at
They-
town meeting?
They've
and-
received, oh, yeah, at town meeting, yeah.
Right,
Yeah, it'd be cool for us to put a little flyer together, right? Like, you know how like if the fire department's gonna buy a new thing or whatever, they put like a picture of it and kind of a.
Well, this might be voted on Tuesday, because it's a non-monetary thing.
Oh, we don't have to wait till town
Oh.
meeting?
No, it has to be.
Town meeting Tuesday rather than town meeting Saturday.
right.
Oh.
There's no money involved here.
Oh,
This is just an
Okay.
Just a
action,
yes, no.
like a protection thing.
oh.
So all wetland ordinances and things like that, changes to the ZO, you vote on Tuesday.
Oh,
In the ballot. That's
In
what
the
you said.
ballot,
Right,
yeah,
right, yeah.
okay.
rather than the warrant
Okay,
Ah,
on
okay.
Saturday.
Well, the rest of the warrant, it's all warrant.
True.
But I can
So-
also write to that in the newsletter as
Right,
well.
and I
Yeah.
think it might be worth just asking for another sort of letter of support from Mr. Kennard saying that, that really was his intent for this, was to have it. We have that original letter, and I realize that, Town and Chris said that it's been so long and that wasn't acceptable, and I guess the attorney said the same thing, is that correct?
Well, I think
Yeah, the
that,
attorney was a little concerned about it.
but it was also the fact that Chris spoke to me and said that the town is not able to convey different types of ownership on properties that they own. And a conservation easement is an ownership thing, because you own the development rights. And he was under the impression that, because the town owns it, it's protected, and I tried to say, no, not necessarily. It has to do with whether you sell it to somebody else, or,
That
Right.
whole list of other parcels was put together to look at whether the town should sell them or
But
put
those
them
were
into
town-owned parcels, so that could,
parks or.
at some point, include the Kennard property,
Right.
and
Yeah.
somebody could
Yeah.
buy it, decide they want to develop it.
Right.
and his,
Someone
here
say,
are
"We
two
need
copies
money."
of
Well,
the
it's not an
original
easement.
letter.
Can they develop it?
It does not
It
have an
has to be
easement on it.
recorded. and-
Well, it's just owned by the town.
It's just owned
Yeah,
by the
that's what we're
town.
saying, that's not
Why
enough
is
No
there no
protections
easement on it?
protect it.
Because, as Sam explained at the public hearing just now, when Charlie brought that up, that piece of parcel was, sold at a bargain to the town for about
Right.
40K.
Right.
And the intent was to
32.
put an easement on it. So
Right.
Bear Paw gave us that 12.5 estimate
Right.
to do that. But we pushed it off as a commission for a number of years
Yeah.
because we had all these other really big
5
projects coming in.
years.
And
5
12.5
years.
doesn't sound like a lot of money, but
But it will have an
Kinda
easement
right
on it.
close
Tight for a while.
Yeah.
But it will have an easement now.
Now,
I mean, we're moving towards that.
After
Yeah,
a
if it's
vote.
voted,
That's
it's
what I
a-
mean.
if it's voted on
It's already
Tuesday,
there, but
people
that-
don't get the backstory because you can't write this whole big thing about it.
correct.
They're just gonna see this little snippet
So we
and
should,
vote yes or no.
we should put together an article, and I can help Sue,
Right.
that we can put in the Nottingham newsletter
And put a big
Yeah.
thing in the
I-
town website with
yeah,
pictures,
right,
well,
something.
and even
the
on
warrant
our,
article
yeah,
should say at the bottom, voted on by the Conservation Commission.
Of course,
Right.
yeah.
But we should
should
include
we also-
the in-kind donation that he gave of how much it actually would have
There
been,
can be an
worth and how
explanation
much
that
he-
goes with the article
Yeah.
Okay.
as well.
Yeah.
because and it's also important for
Sam, was that the letter?
education-wise,
Yeah.
because sometimes people don't know that
He's
we're
talking
helping
about
landowners.
conservation on the,
Put it in
in the letter.
conservation, we're
Talks
not
all
taking
about
it away,
conserving.
that's what his wish is.
And
It
hopefully
could
this
just
will
be
encourage
something like
neighbors to
that.
follow
The
suit. I
wish
think
of the donor
quoting,
was that
some
it
of
would be
that.
placed, and I
Could
can
we
just
do
take a quote from the letter.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
quoting some of what he said on there would
Yeah.
really, I mean, this is what his intent was. It should be a no-brainer. We should.
I'll read it to you. It says, "Thank
Just-
you to Phil Ozier and Sam Demerit for their assistance in concerning 34 acres of the family farm since 1823 on Kennard Road, Nottingham. Hopefully this donation of land will encourage neighbors to follow suit. Hopefully these woods can be labeled the William E. Everett Kennard Forest in memory of my father's sister who always lived on Kennard Road. Shared the secret of my father's World War II service 50 years ago. He never revealed that. Of the four William E. Kennards and other relatives who donated 34 acres to me, including one who arrived in New Hampshire in 1660 and the one who moved to Kennard Road in 1823, as well as the two most recent ones, my father and his father, who both grew up there. My grandfather, who died at age 82 after working made the UNH pond, shoveled snow in 59, and my father, who secretly volunteered giving up deferments for naval service in 1942. And then there's another to Dan Kern. I am interested in land conservation possibilities for a 34-acre lot on Kennard Road, Nottingham. I've gained some knowledge of land protection through the Society FINIF and UNH Extension. I'm enlisting the assistance of Laurel Cox from Leland Conservation. You add any Nottingham applicable for me.
He uses
So-
some good language there, land protection.
Well, I don't know
Right.
how there was any
family sites, and
question about
stuff that
why
will
it
really
wasn't
resonate with people.
any considered for easement. I don't know why there was a question based on this
The
letter.
town is not able to sell rights to land that they own. That was the quote I got from the administration.
So what's the warrant article vote for then?
The town people have to approve placing
An easement.
an easement
they
on
can
it,
do
which
it
means
if the
giving
town-
away
Yeah.
rights on a
The
piece of
development.
property.
There's no monetary.
Oh, okay,
So that's what that
Budget.
is.
got it.
So we got a wordsmith here, Sue. Put that too.
Yeah.
So this has to be
Good night,
wordsmith
Irene.
Good night, Raylene.
Thank you.
in such a way that nobody will have a question. Because you know how sometimes I'll read something from zoning or planning and I'm just reading it for the first time, like,
Yeah,
what do they mean? What is this?
right,
You know, you don't want anyone to be questioning like, is this gonna cost me money?
right,
You know?
Yeah.
It should be 100% vote
Yeah.
in the affirmative.
right.
But, and we don't wanna like have someone say, oh, what's
We
this?
could actually put, Liz has a great point, like how many votes for, because sometimes I'm like,
Conservation
okay,
voted
the
unanimously
budget
for this.
committee voted, so I'll trust them to do their job. But then we can also put the tax impact at 0, because people might not.
Exactly, yeah.
You know, it looks like the frontage on Kennard Road is between 500 and 600 feet, so it's not enough for 3 lots per se, unless somebody,
Long
you know,
ones.
put
Yeah.
a roadway in there.
Right, so the question that I have too, it would be good if we could just get a vote of support from the COS as
Yeah.
well.
Mhm.
Because a lot of times they'll put their votes for
Right.
warrant articles,
Mhm.
so if there's a non-budgetary impact of this, we voted in favor of it, the Board of Selectmen is in
Yes.
favor of it, and
And there's
there's no monetary impact, so therefore the budget committee wouldn't really, doesn't matter
Yeah,
for them.
well, until we place the easement on it, then there's a budgetary.
Correct.
Well, but not on
But it comes,
taxes.
but it
and
comes
No,
out, it
tax
comes out
burden.
of the conservation fund anyway, so, yeah.
Shall we have them address this at the February 5th meeting? Now, about this, are we comfortable with this wording? Do you want it to go to town council, or do you think it's good enough?
Well, I would give it to the Board of Selectmen and see if they think it has to go to the town council.
Okay, should we vote on it first?
Yeah.
Okay.
I know that,
Sue, can you read it one more time or pass it
Yeah.
around so we can look at
I
it?
only have 3 copies, I'll hand out.
just read it again.
I might be able to find it. You sent it on the email.
Yeah, this morning.
Yeah, I don't,
Okay.
Thank
for
you.
whatever reason, I don't have it in.
To To see if the town shall vote to place a conservation easement on the town-owned 34.20 acre parcel identified as tax map 11 lot 6, located on Kennard Road, and to convey such conservation easement deed to a qualified land trust organization. A conservation easement will permanently protect this parcel by restricting its use for open space purposes only, including natural resource protection, wildlife habitat conservation, forestry, and passive recreation. That last sentence came from Dan Kern on that other warrant article that he forwarded to me.
Yeah, I think that's probably what they do
Is
on
it just a standard?
a lot of their conservation easements.
And I think if we are okay with it, maybe that passive recreation should have parentheses after it and say, including,
For passive recreation is defined as,
you know, passive recreation, including, you know, bicycle, I don't know if we want.
But that
Well,
can be furned up in the conservation easement deed.
But you might wanna
It's true,
mention
but
that
if
there
you
are
don't
trail, there's
mention
a
it
trail that the public
when
can
this gets
access.
voted on by the public, if they look at it and they say, well, I can't use my mountain bike in there, or I can't take my horse in there, or I can't do this, then I'm not voting for it. That's,
Should we just not include it?
I don't know.
You could just say in public recreation or something like that, and then,
You could just say non-motorized recreation.
yeah.
Or
Yeah.
public access?
I think, well,
Because public access, if somebody goes there and says, I've got my ATV, it's
Yeah.
open to the public, I can go with my ATV.
So what do you want me to say again, Ms.?
Non-motorized,
Non-motorized,
I think that's clearer.
non-motorized. You want to change it on the
I
copies
don't know
I
if you
got?
wanna mention,
I think,
there's
I
a
think,
trail.
yeah,
that
I
goes
think
through there.
non-motorized recreation is good. I don't think we need to mention that there's a trail on it, but non-motorized
Alright.
recreation.
Cause that's probably something that the trail committee will, it'd be a fairly easy one for us to
I think I've seen the map.
sign
I
and
don't have it with me, but
make a map of.
I've seen a map that looks like there's that trail that goes in from the road and then, you know, splits out. One goes up
Right.
towards the other Fernal property. And the other one, I'm not sure how far it goes in there.
Yeah. I'm just afraid if it's not clear that what we don't want is motorized recreation on there, so that you can't use an ATV and a dirt bike, a motorized dirt bike.
We already have an issue with that on some other property.
Right,
so.
right.
the only other thing that I'm thinking of and trying to help, is just, it's so compelling that it's a local family's legacy of like 400 years.
Yeah.
I
Like
don't
a
know.
historical, there's historical
Right.
significance to this property.
Right, so I don't know if
Sounds
we
like,
should
yeah.
include
Yeah,
that
there's
at
a-
all, or if that's
There's
sufficient in the
a whole
PR we
circle
do
there
ahead
too,
of
I
time.
Yeah,
think.
yeah.
Or
Yeah,
or
so there's
at least a
historical-
foundation for a
Artifacts
small
or
homeowner.
just
Yeah, it might be
historical
that with,
significance.
just with the PR beforehand, that would be sufficient, but I don't know if there's some way to say,
I mean,
Well, just on the little blurb that goes with the warrant article, say,
yeah, usually
Just
there's a
pull
little blurb
things
that
from
say,
That's right,
this is
Well,
fulfilling
the
the wishes
reason.
of the Kennard family to,
one
Have
of the
this
founding
land-
families of Nottingham.
have
up
this
there,
land conserved.
1600.
so I
yeah.
think that would be good if it goes into the little blurb
Yeah.
describing
Yeah.
what the warrant article is for. It's not just something that we thought of and they gave
Right.
the land to the town,
Yeah.
and they gave the land to the town with the intent of it being
Mhm.
conserved.
Yeah, so those quotes,
It's
I
just
mean,
so
that-
moving, really, it's amazing.
Yep.
So generous and,
well, I feel bad, it's been languishing for
I
5
know.
years now, I feel really bad,
yeah.
you know?
Mhm.
That the poor guy did, and it's just been like, so whatever happened?
Yeah,
And sounds like they want a little, like I don't know, do we put a sign, to put a sign up
Yeah.
eventually of that significance of on this spot, so.
Oh,
Be nice to do.
whatever.
How old is this gentleman now?
Oh,
70s, right?
probably somewhere in there,
Yeah, okay.
60s, 70s.
Oh, all right, okay. I thought if he was like 85, we should do this soon before the poor man dies and,
Never gets
we've
to
never,
see it,
yeah,
yeah.
I'm wondering, instead of saying the town-owned, if we said something like, shall place a conservation easement on the 34.2 acre parcel donated to the town in such and such a year, and
No,
identify.
no,
It was purchased by the
We did
town.
purchase it.
Oh, we did,
It
okay.
wasn't a straight donation.
We just did like
It was an extreme
gift.
It was a
reduction
bargain-
in the
bargain
value.
sale.
Oh, okay, so
Yeah.
he did not donate the whole property.
Right.
okay.
It was kind of a gift.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, he could have put two
Partially, you
lots
could
on
say
there for it.
partially
and
gifted.
They probably gotten at least 120,000 or
Was it
something.
like 50,000?
Yeah, partially gifted.
It was-
It was 1,000 an acre.
Like, yeah, 38,000.
Oh, right, yeah, so it was a
I was
good,
30, I thought it was 34.
good deal.
I don't
Something that
remember.
explains that it was
30-something,
gifted.
okay, so
Yeah.
that's,
Actually,
Or
you're
they
probably
were
right, Sue, 'cause
partially
it's
gifted
34
for the
acres, so I
purpose
think
of
it was
conservation.
$34,500 or
Okay.
something.
Yeah.
yeah, so very reasonable. I mean, you'd never, who's gonna, you know, that wasn't that much money.
And we would hold the executory interest, right?
Well, no,
No.
No, because we are the owner.
Not
We
the-
are
We're
the
the
owners.
owner, so there would be no executory interest, it's just the easement would be held by Bear Pond, right?
Or whomever, but right now Bear Bar is usually the least expensive way to go.
I don't know why, well, when did you send that email, Sue? Can't find that one.
I didn't see it, Sue. You sent a
Well,
bunch,
Sent a bunch of different things.
and there was a couple that seemed like were the same,
There were
so, I
one,
I just
two,
looked, I didn't
didn't
see
have a
it.
chance.
four. It was the first thing I
No,
uploaded.
okay, well.
That
I
was
didn't
this
see it.
morning. I sent a bunch of things this
How
afternoon.
early, like 6 AM or something?
Got one
No,
email
about
in the
9 to noon, no, I can't, I was at the computer from 9 to
Oh, here it is.
You have,
It's-
I'm back.
11:45, and then I did a site
I'm
walk.
back, thank you, Liz, it's attached to that one.
Oh, it's part of that one? I'm
Yep.
back.
There are
I
4
think.
attachments on that one.
Oh, that's why. I don't look at all the attachments. Sorry.
And I can't pull down the attachments on my tablet, so I have to go to the library to get a real computer.
Yep, that's it. I think that would work by just putting non-motorized recreation and then with the description for the warrant to have it indicate that this is, you know,
Unanimously supported by us with no
Yeah.
monetary.
And then,
Yeah, right.
and
And
it was
that
the
it
wishes,
was-
And
the wishes
ideally
of
by
the
the-
family,
and that it was, this is in fulfillment of the wishes of the family too.
or at least a.
Yes,
Have the
I think
land
that's
on-
important
on
to
camera,
indicate.
I have, an affirmative vote will fulfill the family's wishes to conserve a property that has been in the family since 1823. How's that?
That had been in the family.
Had been in the family,
That had been.
yeah, because we own it now. Up until about 4 or 5 years ago, whatever.
Do we vote on this?
Yes, please.
Yep.
Somebody want to make a motion?
I make a motion to approve the warrant article for placing an easement on the Kennard property.
I'll second it.
And it's been seconded. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Anybody abstained? Nobody opposed, nobody abstained.
Thank you, Sue.
Yeah, thanks for getting
You're
that.
welcome.
Yeah.
And then I'll have something written up for the BOS for February 5th.
Yeah, in all likelihood, I will not be here unless something drastically changes. So that's it.
1, 2, 3, 6. 6 up.
Yeah,
Oh, thank you.
okay, we've talked about the trail committee,
I have a couple things for the board committee.
okay.
I'll do that before I take off. That would be great. I'll just pass these around. If anybody wants a copy of the agenda, this is, you might have seen it online already. It's the same agenda that we had for the 4th, but the meeting got canceled or postponed to this coming Thursday. Basically, it seems to be a lot of participation so far, people creating various documents and bringing forward ideas, so I hope that
Bless you.
Lovely.
Thank
you very much.
we were gonna do a walk in
Press that back.
January, on Kennard Hill. I think I'm gonna suggest that we do something a little bit more low-key in light of the
How much
amount of
snow and-
snow we have and things like that. We wanna involve as many people as possible. I don't wanna have people say, oh, I don't snowshoe, so I'm not gonna go. That's such a special property to look at Sweetser and Harvey and Xanard all together. So I think I'm gonna see if we can do that one more in the spring and do something smaller, possibly, over by the school property
Well, there are some places you can go, like now with the ground frozen, although things are gonna warm up. Places you can go
I think Kimball
now.
is a lot easier to
Yeah,
But
do
Kimball-
than the fall.
But Kimball, I'm not gonna go to because Kimball is, we're not gonna put a trail in there. You know what I mean?
Wait, it's open to the public.
Yeah,
Right, but what we're looking at are where can we put a trail in or where are there trails already
Okay.
that we can mark and map to let the public know about them. So I think,
And Kimball was owned by Bear Paw, so it's up to them, I mean. it's-
yeah, I don't
to get
think
there.
that would be, that's not gonna be a high priority for trails, but it's something we want the public to know about, and we have a write-up about that on the Conservation Commission website already. I do have a map that we can add to what we have online, for Kimball, just to have it there, but, anyway, the other thing is, on Earth Day, May 18th, I guess we'll have a nice booth there, and we can do something with trails at that point. One thing I'm gonna suggest to the Trails Committee is that if we, I think that, they're gonna have that 5K run, which is gonna go along some of the trails there, but later on, if people who aren't doing the 5K run wanna go like on a trail walk.
May 12th, you mean?
What?
May 12th?
yeah, I think it's
Is
May
it the
12th.
May
Yeah.
18th
Okay, you're
Because
absolutely
I
right.
know
or May
I
12th?
probably won't be there, just
Oh,
because that's my
okay.
sheep and wool weekend.
Oh, nice. So anyway, we'll try to do something related to the trails at that event.
I think it's
and
listed
guess
out
the
on
silent
the
auction
rec
proceeds
board.
are gonna go
May
for
12th.
a project, and Sam seems to think that would
Yeah,
be
that's a Saturday.
good to put it into a trails project,
Oh,
so
yeah, oh, yeah,
we're
I'll
working
go
on
with
getting
that.
a special account to,
Birthday and fishing derby,
and fishing derby, yeah.
so I'll probably start out at the fishing derby.
Great.
Not that I'm gonna be fishing, but,
So did you say a separate booth for Trails Committee, or?
Well, I think we should do one together, don't you? But
a combined booth, you
Yeah.
mean, or?
combine one or have, yeah,
Yeah.
park-
Okay,
we'll see. We
Combine.
Okay, how it
can
works
decide
out.
whether it should be one or two.
Otherwise, you need
depending
another
on-
easy up, so, one easy up. We got that new easy up.
Yeah, so if you think there's enough room for the trail stuff to be in the same booth.
well, it's always good to have
we'll
a
do that.
major theme, too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
And maybe that's the theme for the NCC anyways, is trails. There you
There's
go.
trails this time, yeah.
There you go.
And, I'm also arranging to have specials, speakers come in, one per month. So the guest speaker at the next trails meeting after this one, the one in February 1st is gonna be Charlie Tatum. He's the head of the Barrington Trails Committee.
Oh,
He's
okay.
gonna come talk about their experience,
Oh,
setting
that'd be
things
great.
up and
Cool.
mapping and with working on outreach.
Charlie used to be APHIS?
I don't know. He might have been.
Hmm.
Anyway,
That's
I had
awesome that
invited
you're
both John
coordinating
Wallace and
that.
Charlie
Nice.
to come in, and John can't make it then, because the regular Conservation Commission meeting is that same night.
Okay.
But Charlie's gonna come in and do that, and I've contacted Dwayne, and I've spoken to Dan, but I don't have definite dates for them yet, but, so it'd be nice to do that, as well as,
Yeah.
maybe we can get someone over from the Deerfield Trails group as well, just to,
Yeah,
It's awesome.
right.
It
learn
helps
from them.
keep people engaged too.
Yeah, yeah. And, we might be able to get some help from neighboring towns on projects that we do, that we work on, and then, maybe,
Sounds good. We've talked about this, like we've said, oh, look at what Barrington does, look at what they do, and then we
Yeah.
just
It's
kind of
awesome.
let that languish in the past, because we didn't have time to work on it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Hopefully, we'll be able to make some dents on this.
but developing some priorities of what we want to do is gonna be, it's gonna be a challenge, I thought at first we could just kind of come up with a list, but now I'm realizing that, it has to be a little bit more strategic than that. But anyway, we welcome input from those of you who aren't attending the regular meetings. Of course, you can come anytime.
Thank you, Liz.
Yep, thank you.
Thanks.
Great job.
Liz, is it Tatum? Tatum?
TATUMS.
Oh, Tatum's.
Tatum's. Hmm.
Okay.
I put them in my phone here, let me just see if I've got.
What is Deb Stevens' son's last name Stevens?
Yeah.
Josh.
Josh.
Is he married to Julie?
I don't know, his name is Josh, though.
I do remember when they got married, I remember Deb telling me about her son got married.
No, she has two sons, so.
Oh, okay. I thought he was the one.
That'll be listed on the tax
Yeah,
roll,
that's
though.
what,
Yeah,
that's
it
what
is.
I'm trying to,
Yeah.
It's Josh.
No, he's
Oh.
looking for his,
looking for the spot
Partner.
here,
Oh. I don't,
too far back, 'cause he was in touch with me.
could not bring these.
I think ours is just listed as,
Oh. TATHAM,
DATHAM.
HAM,
Huh.
okay.
That's
Good, thank you, Liz.
All right, well, I'm gonna take off so that I.
some raspberry.
Sold Betty by.
Elderberry. And
Elderberry.
hibiscus.
Yep.
There you go, right,
Yeah.
elderberry syrup.
Elderberry
That's what we
extract, yep.
Really? That's the thing to
Mhm.
get, ooh.
Yeah.
There's
It
a-
helps
has
colds move
There's
through.
actually a
Mustard
thing that's
seed.
called,
Yeah, mustard seed.
mustard seed has the extract, but there's also one that's called Sambugard that has echinacea in with it.
Mm.
Okay. You know, my husband got me some teas from mustard seed.
Yeah, she makes some good
I
tea
will look and
mix.
see, maybe one of the,
I have a throat, she has a throat soother tea too.
Yes, I've had that, that's good.
okay.
She has some good Thai mixtures,
Oh, look at Dawn, she's already got
or
my,
chai mixtures, I should
my
say.
screen ready for the meeting on
Nice.
Thursday. Very helpful.
Awesome.
All right, well, good to see you all, happy new year.
You
and-
too.
All
Feel
right,
better.
thank you,
Here,
Liz.
Liz.
Good night.
okay. Next on my list was the Bear Paw report, and the only other thing I got to report on about Bear Paw is the the breakfast in the barn is scheduled for Saturday, April 28th. That's over, it's gonna be over at the Kitts Farm again in Stratford,
KITTS?
KITZ, I think.
That's where Ed and I got married.
Oh, really?
April, what did you say?
April 28th.
Stratham, you
No,
said?
Stratford,
Oh, Stratford.
somewhere over there.
Yeah, we actually built the tables that they use
Oh, huh?
for weddings and
Who built
events and
them?
stuff.
They built,
Ed and I, Ed and our friend, but I helped.
you built some tables?
Yeah,
Long,
that they
like-
use up at the barn.
Wow.
Yeah. They have like a planer there and stuff. Yeah.
So you built the table, then you.
And then left them there. So he planed the boards and like kind of helped us a little bit, and then we built them all, and then because we were like one of their second events
Okay,
ever. Yeah.
wow. So they didn't have any tables at
Right.
the time?
Yeah.
Wow. That's
Did you
cool.
carve your initials in there?
We should
I
have.
know, you should.
We took the sweetheart table home. So.
Well,
Totally
if-
off
if-
topic,
If you go on the 28th, maybe you can find one in.
Right.
Lamprey River, is there?
Okay, Lamprey River, we're supposed to have a meeting tonight and we didn't, so there's nothing really new going on. Let's see, okay, we're gonna do correspondence first and then do minutes. I've got,
Oh, correspondence, it's not even on the list.
I know that. I do this from my head and sometimes that head isn't working.
It's under other.
You know how it is when you get to be 77?
I'm getting there. Okay,
With a child who is 50 and another one that's 48 going on 49. Grandkids that are 22 going on 23 and 20 going on 21.
there's no sympathy.
No sympathy,
No
okay.
sympathy.
Anyway, we got a notice of intent to cut. This is map 38, lots 34, 36, 38, and 40 on McCrillis.
30, map 38, lots
34,
34
36, 38, and 40 on
and 40.
McCrillis Road, 104.75 acres, and they're cutting 85. They anticipated starting December 4th. When did this get signed?
Do you have an address?
It just says addresses, what they do here. It says David R. Noyes, but he's got 148 Center Hill Road in Epsom.
104.75.
Let me check the tax map here and see what.
What's the name of it?
Well, I got David Noyes, but I'm not sure whether he's the, and then there's another one of Brett Barton, okay, the 44 Old Gilmanton Road in Canterbury. That's supposed to be the person responsible for the cut, but I'm not sure. And that's supposedly the logger or forester, but.
Can I take a peek at that?
Yep.
For just, we can share it.
What map level, what was that? That was map 38.
McCrillis. Why am I-
38, yeah.
Where the hell is McCrillis?
McCrillis goes off 152 and goes over to the intersection with Smoke Street and Kelsey Road and
Yeah, okay.
one. What did I say? Lot 30, map 38, lots.
Lots 34, 36, 38, and 40.
Okay,
Oh, there it is.
34, 36, 38, yeah, I guess the owner is David Noyes.
Do you have an
Yeah.
address?
I got,
148 Center Hill Road, Epsom. Oh,
Yeah.
never mind.
yeah.
And what's the
And
lot
this
number?
is,
Maps? Lot?
38.
Map 38.
34, 36, 38,
And 40.
and 40. He's got something about, well, Old Guile Road and Guile Road. But then 38's on McCrillis. 36 was the other one? 36,
Do they abut each other, all of these properties? Because he could come in from McCrillis and just keep on going.
that's probably what he's doing.
Go out to Guile. Depending on the side, that's a lot of acreage. 4 lots, 25 acres each.
I'm not even finding those damn lots.
Okay, let's see, there's 36, 38, here's 34, 34 is over here, and 40.
34, 36.
One's 80 acres, one's 24 acres, and the other two are 3.4 and 3.55.
His 38.
Yeah, that's. Where's he going?
So Sam, again, the maps, what map number?
38.
38.
Map 38, lots,
34,
Yep.
36, 38, 40.
He's gotta be coming in.
34. Where's 36? Oh, 36 is here.
Yeah, 34, 36, 38,
So
and 40.
these two and then these two giant ones.
Or bigger ones, I mean. What's,
There's no Guile Road involved.
I was just gonna say, cause that, Guile, I was trying to look around Guile Road and that's having me confused.
No, it's up McCrillis.
oh, no, that's Garish.
That's Garish.
And then this is that's McCrillis.
How's he gonna get in?
I don't know.
Are you multitasking?
Yeah.
You do the minutes?
Well, he does own,
October minutes,
let me,
'cause I'm
let me
the
see,
worst
I think he
secretary.
does own another
And Sue
lot.
will probably still not like them because there's too many typos. So
38.
I'm fired.
I was fired
Let's see,
after.
what else is he own here? He owns, okay, this,
Yeah, that's what, how's he getting in?
38, 30, okay, no, 30, 34, 36, 38, and 40.
Is there a right of way through somebody else's?
So what else does he own? Like map 27, lot 2-2?
I don't know. 27, what, 2-2, you said? McCrillis is
Yeah.
McCrillis is over here, so.
No, but I'm thinking about Guile. What about this? Is this Guile?
uh,
If that's the case, he could
Well-
get in from here.
Maybe. Or McCrillis is here, so.
This looks like Camelot here,
Yeah.
Camelot Court. So that could very well be Guile. just
Yeah.
looking at,
Okay,
you might be
so
coming in from the other
let's see
side.
what he got on. What he says is, it's
It's gonna be right
access
along the
from
river.
Come in
McCrillis.
from Guile. to
Yeah, no, but
the-
he says his access is from McCrillis.
Oh.
Okay, 27.
Yeah, you can get in from,
Well, he doesn't
He-
own on McCrillis, does he?
He doesn't own on.
He owns on
Guile.
the other side of the river. He owns
Well-
this one, this one, this one, and this one.
Well, McCrillis goes out here, so I mean, it could be, this is map, I mean, map 39.
Yeah, but it's not one of the 4 parcels.
I know, but I'm looking to see whether,
if he
Oh,
owns
I
it
see,
or
he could
gets
come in
through
from
it.
McCrillis.
According to the
Gotcha.
tax cards, putting in his name, that's what he owns.
Just those 4?
38, 38, 36, 34, and 40. There's nothing else that's right around there that,
He's gonna have to have permission then to get,
So his
Get
buddy,
there.
somebody he knows that's in another property.
39, there. 39, okay, what about 33? 38, 33. No, that's somebody else.
36, 38, 40, and 34. And then that's the river,
Yeah,
what butts 34 and 40. 36 and 38 are,
backland.
landlocked.
They're all kind of
I mean,
landlocked.
they're
Well,
all
all of them
landlocked.
are.
But how's he gonna access, so he's gonna have to get, I mean, he can't go across the river.
And get permission to cross from McCrillis, if
What's-
that's how he's gonna
What's,
get in.
Well, if he goes in from McCrillis, isn't he gonna have to go across the river?
This is town-owned property, and there's one other.
No, because the
Oh,
river
the
goes
third-
onto McCrillis.
Yeah, 35.
about it.
35
right.
is town-owned too,
Yeah.
I think.
Which two are town owned, Sam?
1 and 35, maybe?
Well,
35 is town-owned.
one doesn't help him.
That's this property.
P. Porridge Brook, that's down on McCrillis, and that goes on
That's
there.
further, that's
But
further.
I'm saying
Oh.
lot one isn't, lot one on that same,
It's town-owned, that's where we're sitting, we're, that one.
I'm looking at the map right next to those properties that he has. So, lot,
Oh, you're looking at the 39 one? 39 one is Donald Robertson, or Robert Donaldson, rather.
39-1, yeah.
And 39,
25 acres.
39-1 doesn't help him because he can't, that's the landlocked piece of property too.
oh, is it?
See, I've taken this trail, if you go through that, yeah, you can go, the trail goes, starts here, and you take a little trail,
Who
and I've gone
owns-
all the way to here.
Who owns 25-5?
I think I've gone all the way to there,
20
almost, and then there's a
25-5
driveway.
actually comes off at Camlock Court.
25.
Right here.
There.
It's got a really narrow strip that goes all the way along.
It's probably,
This is,
a,
that is their conservation land, isn't it?
well,
It's the water,
community land or something.
Yeah, it's the
okay, 'cause
community
it's-
land.
It's, that's that thin strip that surrounds all the way around, yeah, I see.
yeah.
25. I don't see anything on 25.5.
Because it states, you see a sign there, they have a little sign. It's like their
It's
water
36,
conservation property, they call it or something.
38.
Oh, wait, that's 38, 25.
He doesn't own any.
No, and when I put his name in, this is all that comes up. He doesn't know, and besides the fact, he'd have to go across the river then to get
Right.
access to log it.
Or is that on 37?
And unless he knows somebody that's either on number 4 or 22 to come in from Guile Road.
25.5, and that's probably map 30, is that map 37? No, that doesn't
So
go-
lot number 4 is Fernald, owned by Gene Fernald.
okay.
Maybe maybe they have maybe they have permission to go in through one of those. And the other one is Wayne Nelson on 2-2. So both of those are on Guile Road. And abut lot 38 and 36. So, I mean, I'm just curious how he's getting into Long, unless he's gonna have permission to go across somebody else's property to do it.
Yeah, or right away in a deed or something.
Yeah, there could be right away to that property. Yep, good point, Sue.
Whatever. We don't have access to the deed, so. So at least I don't have access to the deed, so. Okay, next, we
And
got,
we can't really, I mean, that's just to inform us, we can't really say
Yeah.
anything about it.
FYI.
okay, we've got, conservation easement monitoring stewardship report from, RCCDs. We've got two of them. One is the Brook Crossing property,
Oh, good.
53.33 acres. Didn't meet the owner, which is the town. Walked some boundaries.
How many acres, I'm sorry, Sam?
53.33.
53.33.
And what was that, Sam? I missed.
The Brook Crossing,
Oh, the monitoring?
yeah, the monitoring from RCCD.
Yeah.
They walked some trails on Woods Road, they walked some all the road frontage, walked some of the interior, and didn't do any aerial photography. Condition of the boundaries is fair, 70% walked. Deed restrictions being adhered to, yes. Are you aware of any plans that might affect the property? No. No activities. I left a message for the town of Nottingham Conservation Commission chair prior to monitoring. I don't remember getting it. I arrived at Parcel A and walked along Sophia Way, began monitoring at the bridge and walked southwest along the southern side of the pond. And each one, Beaver Hut, food cache.
What was the date on that, Sam, that they walked it, not the?
December 6th.
Okay.
Was landowner contact notified before easement monitoring? I got yes.
And is there a name from who reported this or sent this to you? Was it this photos too?
I don't see a,
Participants?
no wonder, he's got an old cell phone number of mine. Ariana Spear,
A-R,
IANNA.
Spear, S-P-E-A-R?
Yep. As in that SharePoint object. I guess I'll have to notify them that that's not my cell phone anymore. This one was for the Blaisdell property on Silly Road, and I think they got that, is that C-I-E-L-L-Y?
C-I-L-L-E-Y is how you spell it.
They got a C-I-E-L-L-Y.
Where's that located?
Nottingham is the Blaisdell, Roscoe and Kathleen Blaisdell's property.
Oh, yeah, the one that's landlocked.
73 acres.
Landlocked.
Well, there's,
It's abuts the state park.
yes, bus the state park, but I thought there was that Silly Road goes in there somewhere.
Yeah, could be.
Yeah, it doesn't, yeah.
Let me see what this is. This is,
So
let's see if I can find them.
what does Silly have to do with this? Oh, Silly Road, Nottingham, there we
Yeah.
go.
I'm trying to.
I was thinking silly as in the person, like,
Oh,
Oh,
73 acres and
with an S.
and 57 acres.
no, I was thinking silly as in the family silly.
Oh,
but
the family name, yes.
I'm not realizing it's silly.
Okay, we don't even know which one it is. Let's see this, one of those, let's see if we can remember this, don't know which one.
with steal this from you, Sam, while you're looking it up. Just get some information.
I don't know which. I don't have a map and lot number.
There's 73 acres, and there's also 57 acres. So there's two of them.
I see one that's, I got a 79 acre parcel here and a 62.3. What's 73, what do we got? Those are 200 acre parcels. Oh, one of them, one. That's Mountain Road.
This is it. So
Oh,
it connects
No, 70.
And a wetland.
That's the one.
onto here too, that's cool.
So 74,
What's this, you know, just a,
all right, Seven,
with a little?
which one of these are? I did see Roscoe yesterday. Okay. Map 74, lots 3 and lots 3-1. Those are two, and they've got those down at 70, we got them listed at 62.3 and 79.
Mm-hmm. I got 73 and 57 from the report here.
Whatever. Well, apparently it's being taxed on, that's probably current use anyway.
Yeah, but she probably get this right off the CE deed.
Yeah,
That's nice, that's a really nice part.
okay. Okay, then we got, the Aquatic Resources Mitigation Workshop. Notice. Central Merrimack is January 18th at the DES in Concord. The Lower Merrimack is Londonderry Town Hall, Londonderry and Salmon Falls. Available ARM funding in the 2018 grant cycle. Anyway, the Lower Merrimack is gonna be January 24th, and the Salmon Falls one over at the Rochester Community Center is February 6th.
So how many workshops? Just 4?
There's 3 of them.
3 workshops.
And what are the workshops, Sam? I couldn't
About
hear you
the,
clearly.
about the ARM workshops, Aquatic Resources Management.
Okay.
Mitigation. Cover the available ARM funding in the 2018 grant cycle, updated tools to submit applications, and the State Stream Crossing Initiative. Welcome and introductions by Laurie Summer. Oh, these are running from 4 to 6 and whatever those dates are. Laurie Summers doing the introduction. Melinda Boubier. Yeah, from DES Wetlands Bureau overview. State Stream Crossing from Cheryl Bondi, HDS, DES. Stream Passage Improvement from Kevin Nyhan, New Hampshire DOT. It's free, I think. Thanks a lot. Service areas including municipalities, conservation commissions, road agents, and town engineers. Regional planning commissions, nonprofit groups, land trusts, and consultants are encouraged to attend. Or maybe I'll take a run to one of them. And then we got a letter from the from the society, Forest Society, looking for dues that we've never paid them. please take a minute right now to renew.
Oh, I see.
Mm-hmm.
They have suggested levels of 55, 100, 250, 500,000, or other.
This is Spiniff.
Are they on
Yeah.
our,
That's been up here.
do we normally,
No,
that'd be a new one.
We should. They just. They're the Fernald property, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, both of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the
Do
Mulligan
100?
Forest- Mulligan Forest that we,
Yep.
that the town is still paying for,
Yeah.
Mhm.
about halfway through, I think.
Is there money in the budget to pay for that, or are we just,
Well,
Right
I don't
down
have
to the
anything set
dollar.
up for them because I didn't, when I send in the budget, we have never donated, given them dues in the past.
consider for next year?
Yeah, we can consider it.
Or do we have a dues and publications pot? Or
Have
you're
a-
saying
have
that's
a
not?
dues pot.
But you
publications
How
already.
much do
spot.
we, yeah, how much do we allocate for publications?
Would be in your budget
I don't
that you
know.
have.
But did
Publications,
is
50.
everything that's in that
50.
already accounted for? In that projection?
Dues, 560, Bear Paw, 100, Lamprey River, 100, Conservation Commission, 330. So
Only
it's
have
right down
30
to
left.
those, dedicated to those three.
That was last year's,
This was the one that was submitted for 2018.
oh,
I'm-
okay. I thought I
This is
put
what
in-
I understand.
Okay, I thought I put in,
Did you put in
Tw-
something different?
yeah, I thought I put in 20 for, the New Hampshire Association of Arth.
Oh, that one, okay.
So that we could get the reduced, it was only like $20 and we could get
Okay.
reduced fees
Well, that
for.
might be where the 560 came from, that was left off. So the New Hampshire Association of something or other,
Yeah, the
Conservation
Association of
Commission?
Conservation.
Association of
NHA
I- I-
scientists.
I keep
Natural
saying-
Scientists, I think something like
Natural
that.
Resource, yeah.
Natural Resource Scientists,
Yeah, NRS, yeah.
yeah,
That was, I think I put in
20,
20 or something like that.
okay,
Is that add up to,
not quite.
not quite.
Maybe we did
Maybe-
30?
Maybe I did 30.
30
Okay.
to make the math work?
Yeah.
330?
Or maybe
Yeah, it had to be 30.
or unless the NHACC,
Was more than three, that's a lot, 330, but that's our main
yeah, that's the
main
main
folks. Yeah. Well, the publication's 50, conference is 500.
one. I mean, we probably got money, you know, 'cause I mean,
Riverside,
I think I was the
maybe.
only one that attended any conferences this year. I did two.
Mhm.
So if if we
Yeah.
usually allot 500, we might be able to take,
Yeah,
maybe we only
seems like
spent
we
3 or
should.
400, we should be able to take 100 out of that. And then next year, we'll up the dues.
Mhm. That sounds good.
Okay,
Well, yeah, but 100 sounds good.
okay.
Can we pay for it now and ask them to steal from?
Well, I typically, I wait until after our budget is approved Town
Right,
meeting.
March.
Okay,
Mhm.
and then I submit all the things that they've sent me. And Lamprey River Watershed Association was kind of laxed on, I usually have to beg them for an invoice. They won't pay it without an invoice or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do they have an executive director now? Lamprey River?
No, the last one lasted 6 months, maybe?
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
okay.
And they're not looking at getting one right away, I guess.
So they're just using that girl as the river, she just helps with the river water testing, that gal?
Yeah, Andrea
First
Fry,
time.
yeah.
That could be why we don't get mail appeals.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't gotten
If
anything.
there's no
Yeah,
staff.
yeah. And you don't have a executive director, that, all that kind of fundraising, you would know what the fundraising stuff's done. And by the way, I saw your little, the article,
Maybe I can get the treasurer to
Union Lead or Concord Monitor, one of
send out
those
some
two.
bills.
They had a full
Oh.
page of the rescuing wildlife.
Might be a good idea.
What's that?
Maybe I can get the treasurer to send out some bills for invoice us for the dues.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm sure they have a mailing list, cause I think I've gotten something from them. Just,
Yeah,
there
I
was
used to
a
get
great
appeals.
return on investment for,
Yeah, usually they'll do
Mailings.
the, fall appeal because it's the end of that,
right,
cycle, but I
Yeah.
didn't get anything from them this year.
No, that's been kind of sporadic since Christos left. In fact, I don't think he did anything
Ah,
yeah.
wasn't
It
very
is-
effective, apparently.
Well, he was, I don't know, I think he was looking more to do things in, like, in the legislature, stuff like, push for stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
Rather than administrative type
Okay.
stuff,
Okay.
whereas Don was,
yeah, she
Yeah.
was awesome.
okay. Anyway, that's all I got
Now we're
for,
on minutes.
now we're on minutes.
And I'm rescinding mine because A, the time, and B, I made a bunch of corrections already, so I don't wanna.
Doesn't wanna get fired.
Yeah, I don't wanna get fired, I'm already
Did you
fired.
correct Ternenko's name?
There's no I and, there's only one I, right? Show me your correction and I'll correct.
Terninko, I think.
Ninko, yeah, take out the second E.
Okay,
No, yeah,
so T-E-R.
T-E-R-Ninko, N-E-N? No, I can't spell it.
T-E-R-N-I-N-K-O.
T-E-R-N-I-N-K-O, Ternenko.
Ternenko?
T-E-R-N-I-N-K-O.
All right,
There we go.
I will correct it throughout. Okay, got it. Got it. Let me do that. Okay, so I'll spare us from that and next time, sorry, it's October, I feel really bad. Maybe by June we'll be.
Did you want to postpone the minutes for December?
It's up to you.
Looking at the time, did you want to do monitoring reports?
Oh, yeah, I'll probably do the monitoring reports.
I mean, they can just, we can go around the room and say everything was okay.
Yeah.
Okay. The ball's in your court, Sam.
Okay, we monitored the easements that we were responsible for. Let's see when we did those. We did,
Highlands
yeah, we
was
did
done
it.
on 2 dates, December 13th and December 17th.
Right, okay. And then, how come I don't have it in here? There you go, I don't have it. And then the amendments we did in November, right? We do that in November?
No, we did it the following
December.
weekend,
Oh, the
in
following
December.
Okay.
Wait, the following weekend from the original date, sorry.
Oh, from the original date. I don't know when
It's
the
for
original
the-
date was. Okay, the Highlands we did, we did on the 9th, did, some of them. I guess the-
December 9th was the original date for Highlands.
Right,
The following weekend, add 7 to 9, which is the 16th,
yep. That was the Mendhams,
we did Mendham's.
yep.
And Highlands was the 13th and the 17th.
Oh, okay, actually, the 13th and 17th, okay.
And Kristen, have you done,
I did Kimball today.
you
Yeah,
did Kimball?
I have the report here.
Okay,
And it looks great. It's beautiful. It's a nice time of year to be out there.
it is.
Yeah, yeah. Snowshoe hare tracks, flying
nice.
squirrel, coyote, deer, red squirrel, and I heard chickadee and white-breasted nuthatch.
Yeah.
The
Oh,
river
okay.
looked beautiful.
Wish I was able to go with you.
And no ticks.
No
No
That's
ticks.
one good thing about the cold weather and the snow, keeps
Yeah.
the ticks away.
I want to go back,
Oh, this is,
so we should go together.
Okay, and you did the
I did Friend with Celia in November.
Okay, Tenenco,
Chernenko was
Chernenko is-
Celia and who else?
Liz,
Celia and Liz.
Liz.
okay.
And did they do that in November or December?
Thank you.
I don't know, it's in the previous minutes.
Mm.
But I wrote up reports both for Highlands and Mendham's, and I'll put them in the file.
Okay,
And then I also filled out individual property owner reports and signed them.
okay.
And I also did a new spreadsheet because the other one was so difficult to work with. Can I find it now? Of course I can. I just had it.
Do we need these electronically, or is this fine?
That's fine.
Paper.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I sent this out to everybody today,
Okay,
and this will this will replace the one that we've been working with.
okay.
And I just put some notes on this one on the top copy,
Yes.
but everybody else has
I have
these
from
too.
November, and I have it all electronically, and I emailed the owner, but.
All right, they're all completed and all passed muster,
So all our easements are done.
all our easements. We can start all over again.
And I apologize that I did not participate this fall, but it was just a horrible fall for me for scheduling, so.
We'll
We
remember
did
that.
it.
Teaching and way overcommitted with presentations.
So can we adjourn into the minutes some other time?
If you want to.
I make a
Oh, yeah.
motion that we adjourn.
Thank you, Cheryl.
Uh,
Is there a second?
is there a
A
second?
second.
Seconded by Kristen. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
One,
Anybody
two,
opposed?
5 up. Yay. What time?
We've adjourned at 9
9:01.
o'clock.
Who does like
Night,
Miriam?
everybody.